You pull that up to you. Just that you need to do that. Come on, man. You're a preacher. Don't act like you can't use a mic. You're a preacher. Use that microphone, man. Just put
Never been a mic out there.
or just, yeah, I need to do it. Yeah. Mic check. You can hear me, right? I'm in the air.
Check one. Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Hey, what's up, Chicago? We are live in the studio. Man, gonna have a hot show for you today. Taking the Limits Off is on the air. Man, Wednesday, April 22nd, 2015. Y'all know where we are. West side of Chicago, located on the 3rd floor of Kingdom Missionary Baptist Church. And man, I'm excited about today's show. In the studio with me, those of you watching on Ustream, he already here. I like it when guests are on time. He's already here. Pastor Clarence E. Stores Jr. is in the house. How are you, sir?
I'm pretty good. You said my whole name.
Yeah, your government. With the government name out there. So he's going to be on the show with us today, man. We're going to get all up in his business over at Mars Hill and what's going on in the community. And man, that's the website. I'm loving it. So I've got some questions for you, Doc. So it's going to be good, man. We got some good stuff. So definitely want to talk about that, but I need to give y'all the rundown as usual how you can contact the show. If you're already listening via Blog Talk Radio, you know all you have to do is dial 855-381-8804, and we will get you on the air with your questions or comments for either for me or for Pastor Stores. If you are already listening via the call-in number where you listen via your phone, just push 1. We'll recognize you and we'll get you on the show. Social media, Facebook, y'all know where we are. If you're on Facebook, just go to Taking the Limits Off with Dana and Devon. You will find our show page, and you can get the link there. You can also email us or text us from there as well. Twitter, we're also on Twitter. That's at TTLO Radio. That's on Twitter at TTLO Radio. Hit us up on our email address at takingthelimitoff@comcast.net. And last but not least, you can hit us on our website at takingthelimitoff.net. Man, all over the place, Doc, all over the place. So look, before we get into, everything else, just want to say this again. I want to send prayers and condolences out to the Neal family. We lost, I don't know how, I forgot it on Monday. We lost one of them, Mother Neal, on last week, and I believe the funeral services have been arranged for this Saturday. I'll have that information posted on the site a little bit later, or you can go to the church's webpage and you can get that information. It should already be there. But again, just want to say keep them in our prayers for the Neal and McCline family. I believe Mother Neal has been a member of this church for, probably almost as long as it's been around. So definitely want to keep them in our prayers. But man, I'm excited to have Pastor in the studio with us today, and just want to go over some stuff with him. But as usual, we want to talk about some current events and stuff that was going on. And if he feels like he wants to chime in, he's more than welcome to. In the news the other day, and I saw this yesterday, and it kind of caught me off guard a little bit. A young lady was assaulted yesterday on Monday, on the Blue Lines. On the Blue Line at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, in between the Oak Park Avenue stop and the Cicero stop. Now, I haven't been on the Blue Line in some years, so y'all have to help me out. Now, if I don't know how many stops are in between. I know about the Green Line a little bit, but I'm not familiar that much with the Blue Line. So I don't know how many stops are in between Oak Park between the Forest Park stop and the Cicero stop. But it was enough time for him. He was on the car when she got on the car. There was nobody else on the car. 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I just find that amazing, right? I'm a little shocked. But unfortunately, she was sexually assaulted. He took her cell phone and everything else. The good news is they do have this idiot's picture.
Yeah.
And they got it posted everywhere. And if y'all know Pookie, I'm sorry, but if y'all know Pookie, turn Pookie in, because he just get it. Folks in the studio, I'm gonna try to behave because I passed this in the studio today, because y'all know normally I'd be way off on the other side. So I'm gonna try to behave, but
Do you?
yeah. So also, I forgot. Hey, we on Ustream. Y'all check my man out. He cleaned too. He was like, he said, I'm glad I cleaned up before.
That's right. Clean up well.
No, man, we see your videos, man. I've been watching, man. I watch live before I come to my church on Sunday morning. I check y'all out, man. So
It's all right.
yeah,
Appreciate that.
yeah, we do. So man, we like it. We like to steal some ideas too, but I love it.
They call it research.
That's it. Procuring. That's we're gonna procure some stuff.
Absolutely.
So yeah, so that happened, and then I was just talking with Pastor a second ago. I don't know if you guys follow Corey Brooks, Pastor Corey Brooks. You know, I've had my share of comments about him, and eventually he'll be on the show because I have some questions about that whole government campaign and some stuff that went on. You stay neutral, Doc. But I read your stuff though. I read your stuff about the mayoral election. I'm glad somebody stood up and said something. But all right. Anyway, so yeah, I saw his comments about apparently they closed the McDonald's. I'm assuming it's in this church's neighborhood, and they closed the McDonald's down over there because of the violence. And it's been so violent that McDonald's just said, you know what, we're done.
Wow.
Now
that's amazing.
It is, and one of the things that just stuck out for me was what happens to those people's jobs. I mean, I get it to McDonald's and the community. People can say what they want about whether or not McDonald's is healthy. That's on you. That's a whole other topic. But I'm assuming about 25 people maybe work at McDonald's.
Yeah, supporting their families as well.
So, I mean, I'm going to guess that the managers might have been relocated. I'm assuming, but again, this is just off the cuff. It was open last week and it closed over the weekend. How do you this just goes to show you that these communities that we live in and these people that are doing whatever they feel like, they're running businesses out. I mean, I've never heard of McDonald's. Well, I guess, yes, I have. Let me stop because I forget. In my mom's neighborhood on the west side of Chicago, there was a McDonald's on Karloff and Madison, and it's no longer there. And they used to call that the stick-up McDonald's because you go through the drive-thru to get you a cheeseburger, and your money and your cheeseburger. Yeah, so
trifecta.
yes, sir. So yeah, man, that's pretty much it. I said I was not going to address any more of the shootings, and I'm gonna try to stick to that. Y'all know I've been about 4 or 5 days since I've mentioned them, so I'm not gonna go into detail about how many there were. Even though the numbers have not gotten better, but thank God for the cold weather. It may slow it down a little bit.
Absolutely.
That might slow it down a little bit. So let me make sure I got my producer's page pulled up over here because I'm sure I'm finna get a message that they can't hear you.
Okay.
In a minute. So let me make sure I got that up because that's probably what's gonna happen very shortly.
Sure.
But anyway, so look, y'all, we got pastor stores in the studio from Mars Hill. Now, is it Baptist or missionary Baptist? I always want to put missionary in every Baptist church I talk to. Now, you explain. Can you help me out with that? Is it
We assume what they call formlessness. So
okay.
we need to be missionary Baptist.
Okay.
We missionary Baptist. We need to be Baptist. We Baptist.
Okay.
And then when we need to be just Mars Hill, we're Mars Hill.
Gotcha. I understand. You sound a little bit like what my pastor says. He said, I'll preach anywhere as long as they preach Jesus. I don't care if it's Baptist or what.
It's a very wise man.
It's just so I often wonder if we get so caught up in it. But I'll say those questions for a little bit later on. I'll save those for a little later on. So
sure.
Look, we're gonna take a real quick break, y'all. And when we come back, I almost forgot. If you're following us, we're going to talk about if we have time, unless we, okay, I see that. Unless we, get caught up in our conversation. We're also going to hit on Pastor Stores' blog. We'll talk about his blog. And we picked one out last night, the one that says what to do when life is unfair.
So I had one reader, at least one reader.
No, you had more than one. But we all read the article, so you better have 4. Hey, man, you never know. So, look, we're gonna take a quick break, and when we come back, me and Pastor Stores are gonna get into a little convo.
All right,
y'all be blessed. We'll be right back.
Good, man. You're good at this, man.
It's a little rough. Ustream, we stay live. We don't cut off on Ustream.
Oh, we still on
Oh yeah, we
Ustream.
stay. We take a break on the air, but Ustream we
All
stay
right,
on.
so
So
shout out to the Ustream viewers.
yeah. So look, man, look. So
Awesome.
we're gonna get I'm just gonna give a little bit of your. I can pull it back up now that I'm sure off.
Okay.
Some of your bio,
All right.
and then you get a chance to, some folk may or may not like to talk about themselves, but you get to talk about yourself a little bit
Okay.
before we get into some of the different stuff on your. Sure.
All right.
So
All right.
there is. Come on now.
This for me.
Yeah, that's you.
All right. Man, Fiji water. Wow. That's
That's
my
something good.
daddy used to say. Man, I'm chopping in high cotton. Look at this, y'all. I am Fiji water. I am blessed. I can die and go to heaven. Used to Crystal Spring or whatever that stuff they said.
Oh no, Doc. Here's how this happened. I'll tell you real quick. They know this already, but I didn't drink water. I can't. It did nothing for me, but I know I needed to drink it.
Yeah.
Got a bottle of that one time, and now that's the only water that I drink.
Oh man.
I've tried the Smart water, the Nestle water, all of that stuff. It don't work for me. But this right here, this
right here.
Man, don't give them too much appetite. They ain't giving us no money. Yeah,
This right here.
that water. Now, if Fiji want to holler, they can phone back. But now everybody know I drink Fiji, so we could.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
All right.
Fiji, if you're listening.
Man. But yeah, no, so that happened with Devon and the other show back in, I think it ended in February. He left, so I always tease him on air. I say, you got us back. So, but man, God was awesome, man. We found this platform with Blog Talk, and
Nice.
And had to work out some stuff, to figure out how he was going to do it. I had all this equipment in a storage room because from a previous place. So all the stuff's in the storage room. So I was like, man, this room ain't being used.
Right.
Up here, and I had to work it out with the trustee board. How that
Of
goes.
course.
But man, we came in here. It was dark purple,
Sure.
and we had just got it painted last weekend. Just laid the carpet yesterday.
Nice.
Just got the banner hung the other day, and
Progress.
we started off our first show with had 7 listeners.
Is that right?
7.
7.
Because we get real time stats at the end of the show.
Okay.
7 listeners, and man, God be the glory. I was at home the other day with dinner, and eating dinner, and people from Blog Talk called me, man, and said the previous Friday show we had hit 15,000 listeners.
15,000.
I almost went in, right?
Man, that is impressive.
In 1 year's time.
Man.
1 year's time.
I'm happy for you.
Man, and I'm like, and the thing about it is, when you look at it where they are, because it's internet, they ain't even in Chicago.
Right. Nationwide. International.
Worldwide. Yeah. So I'm like, I have no clue where they are. We just know where they log on at, but God is awesome, man. God is awesome. And I'm like,
I just want to take time and tell the Ustream family that I am honored to be sitting in the audience as an internationally renowned radio talk show host.
no, I ain't gonna say all that, but we trying. We trying, man.
Love
Trying. All right, let's come on back out this break. Yeah, that's you, and you can. I got
What's
your.
helping you out?
Oh no, I'm just saying, this you got your thing up right here too. So yeah, that's you.
All right, that's me. Look at
That
it.
picture look familiar. We stole it off the.
Love it.
All right, man, and we are back. We are back. A little bit of Ty Tribbett. I will bless the Lord, man. Who else you gonna bless if you ain't gonna bless him? I mean, come on now. So. Look, so I got sitting in the studio, you guys watching on Ustream. Today we have our special guest, Pastor Clarence Stores. I'm going to leave the E out, that way he don't feel like I made his whole name. I left the junior off too. No, I guess I need to put the junior on. So Pastor Clarence Stores Jr. From the great Mars Hill Baptist Church, or Mars Hill Church, right around the corner from us, over here on the west side of Chicago, man. So Finally was able to track you down. Now.
Yes, yes.
You're a hard man to reach, bro.
Well, I've been working on getting my radio game together.
Okay.
When I finally make it on the show, I won't embarrass my good friends.
You good. You good.
All right.
You all right with me. You all right with me. So look, just want to give you guys a little bit of info in case you did not know. Pastor Stores has been pastor. Let's see here. He became pastor at Mars Hill he was licensed to preach in 1991, and he was ordained as a pastor of Mars Hill in 1990.
Man, oh man.
Man,
time flies.
Wow. Okay. He succeeded his father, the late Pastor Clarence Stores Sr. From Mars Hill Baptist Church. Mars Hill has experienced phenomenal ministry growth under his visionary and pastoral leadership. Since his ministry there, more than 1,500 souls have been saved and united with the church. In 2004, Mars Hill was awarded the Church Health Award from Rick Warren and Saddleback Church. Mars Hill is an innovative, multicultural, and soon-to-be multi-site church.
Yes.
I saw that and I was like, okay. With membership now exceeding 2,200. I hope all 2,200 of y'all listening now.
That's right.
It's one of the fastest growing churches in the Midwest. Pastor Stores shares his life and ministry with his gifted wife, Lady Shantae Stores.
Exactly, that's my baby.
And his 3 children, Miles, Joshua, and Lauren. Man, we are so happy to have, once again, if you guys can just help us out, just welcome Pastor Clarence E. Stores. We got some effects too, man. We big time.
Hey,
So look, man, I got you on because it's like, you know what, you in this area, you in this Austin community with us, right on, almost on the border. You're a little bit closer to Oak Park than we are, actually. Right on the border. And just give me a little bit of information about Mars Hill.
Mars Hill, well, started in 1963. My dad started the church, and he wanted a ministry that ministered to the entire man, the whole man, as he would call it, holistic. Not only just feeding spiritually, but also having the opportunity to meet man's physical needs, as well as the social needs. So he launched Mars Hill. Took that name right out of the book of Acts. Acts chapter 17, when Paul was preaching.
Yes, sir.
To what they would liken to the Oprah show. So think about it, given the opportunity to influence the influencers. And there was an altar to an unknown God. And so Paul said, let me tell you about that altar so that he could stimulate not only the mind, but raise an interest in the God that we serve. So that's how we took our name. And I love that name because no one else has it. So when people hear Mars Hill, they think about our church, and thank God for that. So I never had intentions at all on becoming a pastor.
Can you say that again?
Never.
Okay.
Never.
Amen.
Had any intentions on becoming a pastor. And my intention, thought that I would be in politics now.
Really?
Oh yeah. I went to graduate school at the University of Missouri. Public administration. And I figured once I graduated, then I'd have the opportunity to do local government, build some name recognition, run for Congress. And by the time I was 45, I figured I'd be in the U.S. Senate. Can't stop the man from dreaming.
Not too, that's a little bit down the street from the big house.
Yeah, a little bit. But somebody else beat me to
it. Hey, you needed a John the Baptist.
Yes, I did.
Before you, there you go.
There it is. So midway through that, God started toying with me. And, I couldn't reconcile, and I can be honest on there, right?
Yes,
I couldn't reconcile in my mind being a preacher and a pastor because I love sin.
You
talking
to me. You look in the mirror right now, but go ahead.
And I couldn't wrap my head around it, so I figured at least I can help people in politics, make a difference, and still hold on to sin. And God just wouldn't let me go, and I couldn't reconcile and wrap my mind around the whole Baptist church. I'm not knocking it because I am Baptist, but I just wasn't connected. So I figured if I'm going to be a preacher, then I wanted to be one that made a difference. So fast forward, I succumbed to God's call and came back to Chicago and began helping my father lead Mars Hill. We had a school at the time, and took over leadership of our school. And while I learned ministry, then went to seminary at Trinity, finished up there, and was installed as co-pastor. And my dad and I had a 3-year transition plan where I would transition in as senior pastor, and then he would transition out. And the Lord called him home midway through that transition period, and I was installed as pastor in '99.
Awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome. So to give me, if you can, I mean, you don't have to go through. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot. So from the time you came in, like for that first 5 years, 'cause I'm sure there was some some difficulties.
Yes.
People, because your last name was Stores, and they had expectations, and and they had a vision of what they thought you should do because of maybe what your father was doing, and where you said the Lord said you to go, because your vision and your father's vision could be two separate visions.
Absolutely.
So give me a little bit about that first 5 years in there.
First 5 years were critical, and what made it critical is that I knew there was a honeymoon period.
Always.
I knew that. Growing up as a PK, you have some insider language, and you kind of can navigate some things if you listen. So I knew that there would be a honeymoon period whereby I can get as much through the window as I needed to do. So first thing, if I could put it in steps, I'm pretty sequential in my thinking. First thing I made my mind up was it's better to add through addition rather than subtraction. What I mean by that, we had, of course, things in place that were dear to the membership of Mars Hill, and I figured, why subtract? Why take it away?
Okay.
And I figured I could always add on. And the way I would lean into it and say, hey, here's a new initiative we want to try. And if it doesn't work, let's try it for 2 weeks. If it doesn't work, then we can always go back to what we were doing.
Okay.
And from there, it was a safe try for the stakeholders. And the second thing I did after that was get someone whose voice was stronger and had more influence than my voice to push a change that I needed to happen. So I would share with deacons at the time and say, hey, this wall, what do you think about this wall? It needs to be fixed. What you think?
Okay.
Well, yeah, bro, Pastor, it needs to be fixed. I said, well, when we have this meeting, I'm gonna need you to let the congregation know that this is something that we want to do.
Okay.
So when the meeting would come around, I would say, hey, Deacon Jones, I have something that he wants to say. He said, well, I was in the room, and I looked at the wall, and the wall needs to be painted.
Okay.
We need to paint the wall.
Okay.
Well, all right, Deacon Jones, we'll paint the wall. So I learned to lead, to leverage the influence
There you go.
of others in order to get the vision across.
Wow.
So on top of that,
So it's still a little political.
you're gonna make me go there.
It's not a bad thing.
It is.
It's not a bad thing, but it's a little political. You have to. Some people need to be steered.
That's right.
Toward the right direction.
That's right.
Okay.
It is. And the third thing that I keep in front of me, which is I think most critical, is that in any change that's going to happen, it's instant. And what people need is time to wrap their mind around it psychologically. So it's a transition from what was to what is. So I learned that all change, no matter how small or how big, brings a certain level of tension.
Yes.
And it's how you manage the tension that determines the success of the change. So what I ended up doing was educating a lot up front why we can't stay here, as opposed to we gotta go here. I made it uncomfortable, like the eagle does the nest.
Yeah.
Make it thorny. Well, we can't stay here. So let's look for a better alternative than here.
That's good. Again, we're talking with Pastor Clarence Stores Jr. from Mars Hill Baptist Church. Man, enjoying this. So just to stay in that vein for a second,
Sure.
you kind of moved toward you geared us toward leadership. So since you went there, let's just go there.
Sure.
when you experience things where you see that there's a need for change, I noticed you used words called, you said something that stuck out, change is instant.
Yes.
And it needs to be done. Not once you have it in your head that it needs to be done and you've gotten your necessarily your team, I'm assuming, on board with you, it needs to be enacted right then and not, 5, 6, 7, 8 meetings.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Oh, absolutely.
I just kind of want to get an idea. Is that where you were going? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So let's. So that was the first 5 years. So the honeymoon period ended, and without going into details, I'm sure there was some rocky.
Oh God, yes. Oh God, yes.
Okay. Did you lose some people?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Well, every decision you make,
yeah,
will earn the favor of some
mm-hmm.
and the disfavor of others.
To the point where they would some people would stay and adjust.
Right.
Others will just.
Yes.
So some did actually
Right.
leave.
Oh yeah, we lost people. And here's why. Well, we didn't lose people. I call them blessed subtractions.
I like that. Y'all want to write that down. Man, y'all know I will use that.
That's
now.
right.
Come on, all right.
That's right.
Blessed subtractions.
It hurts.
Yes.
I don't know any pastor who could sit here straight faced and tell you that when people leave, it doesn't bother them, it don't affect. Yes, it does. It hurts because you were there to help build a relationship. Though it may have been rocky, but that's still a person you built a relationship, And when you lose, you don't just lose one person, because in church life, people have tentacles.
Yes, that's
they
true.
have
That's
other
true.
people that they're connected to.
Very true.
So there's a possibility you lose them as well. So yeah, it hurts. We lost people because I learned this, and that is people love change when it don't affect them.
My God.
But as soon as it affects them,
my God.
and oh my God.
So when you took over, what was the congregation size around that time?
Oh, we had about 450,
Okay.
450 and 500.
And so what type of hit did you take that was noticeable? Was it a big hit or?
I wouldn't say it was a big hit. We lost, and I kept the figures during that time. We lost about 20%.
Wow.
Of our congregation.
Okay.
And the reason we did was it was not a theological issue, or even a doctrinal issue. The issue was, check this out, it was structural. And I'm just learning this 10 years later, what happened. The biggest thing that I did was remodel our pulpit area.
I saw that.
And I changed all of that, took out the big throne.
we had one here too. You remember?
Now I got myself in trouble.
No, it's in the basement now. No, seriously, we had one too. It was like this huge. Yeah. It was an altar for real.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what it was. And of course, we had the little chairs for associates.
Sidekicks.
Yeah.
For us.
Sidekicks. That was real small. Down there. And I removed all of that because I'm a worshiper, and I wanted to be in the midst of worship with the congregation. So here's the greatest mistake that I made, in that one of the many mistakes that I made was I removed all of those symbols. And now here's what I've learned. Those were the things my dad had in place, and when I removed them, historically, our people, African Americans, have what I like to call a theology of place.
Yes.
A theology of place.
I get that.
And what I mean by that, God is in the place. And those things that represented my dad, they saw God in because he was instrumental in meeting God through him, from the man of God, with the word of God, for the people of God. So when I removed those symbols,
they assumed.
There it is.
God.
I'm
see now that. Okay. Yeah. That helps. That hopefully this is helping some people, because anytime you're in it, because let's talk about it, it was a family church.
Exactly.
It was a family church, and you were prominent. Your family was prominent in the church. Now the good thing for you is you did at least have the last name, so that eased it some for you. Because I guarantee if somebody new had came in there, it
would not have happened.
Or if it did, they would have lost more than 20%, or been escorted out.
Exactly.
Okay.
My name say.
Hey, God told Abraham, "I'll make your name great." Right? Okay, so look, so that happens, and I think I recognize it because people put a lot of emphasis on things.
Yes.
And in church, I try to put this out to people all the time because we talk about it a lot on the show. In church, we tend to spiritualize pieces
Yes.
and hardware
Yes.
and where I sit and you know how we sing over here. Well, then we gonna sing over here now. Well, that ain't the way God wants us to sing. Okay,
Yes.
so that's interesting. That's interesting. That's why I wanted. That's the kind of other reason why I wanted you in here because I just knew for a fact, and I try to tell people all the time because when we're doing these articles from churchleaders.com, you know, I catch a lot of flack from a lot of preachers. I do. You know, they won't call in and say what they have to say, but they'll text me.
Yeah.
And you know.
Keyboard assassin.
Yeah. I did a blog about 4 years ago called Keyboard Courage.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, people are hardcore with keyboard.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Oh, but I give it to them. They snatched me up at a meeting too one time. Right when we was on the old show. We was at one of them district meetings and said, "Come here, fellow knowledge. Why you so hard on the church?" I said, "What did I do?" I'm like, I'm just going through this article. If it fits and your members say it must be some truth to it.
Yeah.
So anyway, so let's fast forward a little bit. So you were already married. You were already married when you became pastor.
Yes.
Okay.
1 year.
Oh wow.
Not when I became pastor. I started preaching. I've been married 8 years.
When you started preaching.
No, when I started preaching, I was married
1 year. Got you. But by the time you got to pastor, you had been married 8
years.
Okay. And you have 3 children.
3 children.
I know one is a baseball player because I see you always putting him.
Yeah, my little son, Josh, is a baseball player in Mount Carmel.
Okay.
High school senior. 13-year-old daughter, Lauren.
Okay.
And I have a 20-year-old son, Miles.
Oh wow. Okay. Good. Now I'm gonna give you a little information. You may or may not know this. You know, I got some family at your church.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh.
My grandmother, Janie Horton.
Yeah.
That's my grandmother.
You know.
And Monique. In the praise team who sends me videos, and I saw y'all's new release. She sent it to me.
She did.
Yeah, she sent it to me and tried to download it to play it, but I couldn't get the audio or something to do something right on it. I couldn't figure it out. But yeah, so I get some family.
Wow. Here's a little history. Did you know she's gonna strangle me for saying this? So I'm sorry, sister.
She'll get me first. Don't worry about it.
Kindergarten teacher.
Oh wow. She was your kindergarten teacher? Wow.
I'm so sorry.
Wow. Okay. Breaking news.
Yes,
man. That's good. That's good. So yeah, man. So they're over there. When they left here, I believe that's where they went.
Yes.
Because I wasn't even here when they left here. So that's good. That's good. So what's happening right now? Take us now from the last. What's going on in Marcy? I saw the internet cafe.
Yes.
That you guys. That's still up and running?
Yes, that's still up and running.
Now, is that strictly for the church members, or what exactly is the internet cafe?
Well, we view our space as community space.
Okay.
And it's open to the community to use. And we've held meetings. We've held groups who've come in to utilize our cafe area. Once they were filming a TV show.
Okay.
And they leased out our space to
sweet.
use as cafeterias, etc. So it's for the community to be used. And since worship is a big part of what we do, and I love the arts, and one day I envisioned, and that's why we remove pews and things of that sort, made it more multi-purpose, it being a community performing arts center.
Okay.
So where we are right now is we just launched, well, let me back up. We had a vision of wherever you go, so do we.
Okay.
And that means to get our platform to be more mobile. So 2 years ago, we launched our mobile app, which has all of our messages, events, articles, resources, things of that sort. So no matter where people are, they'll be able to get access instantly to the messages, etc. And then on top of that, it was a 3-year plan. We launched our online campus on Easter Sunday this year.
Wow.
And the goal is, of course, wherever you are, so are we. And the greatest message that I received this past Sunday, we had a member in Hawaii say that, Pastor, before I go to the beach, I sat down, got my word, got my worship, all the way from Honolulu, Hawaii. So she's living out the vision that we have. Wherever you go, so do we.
Just to stay there for a minute, because you kind of lead me, which is great. I like that. You know, see, I don't mind following leadership. I know some of y'all think I'm hard-headed. I don't mind following. When you talk about wherever you are, we are, that scenario, you're using the internet, social media, all those different mediums
Yes.
to reach people. Can you just talk about the importance of that before you guys were online versus now, and why it's so important?
The reason is so important, and I'm so glad that you asked this question, and maybe I'll be able to shed a little light to help others who want to make that transition. Christianity, in its inception, was a very technological and savvy religion.
Okay.
And I'm going to tell you why. The technology, the Romans were skilled and technical during their day because they built roads to expand the Roman Empire.
Yes.
And Paul says, okay, I know these roads were there for vainglory or for ill purposes, but Paul says, I can use these roads to take the gospel to places that it had never been before.
Wow.
So what if Paul would say, you know what, those are devil roads. I'm not going to walk down those roads. I'm just going to just walk around in the bushes and in the mountains or over around. Paul says, no. You built this for evil. Paul says, I'm going to use these same roads so I can take the gospel to the uttermost parts of the world.
Now, these are his thoughts. These are his thoughts, and he's using Bible to back them up. Now, don't y'all play crazy, because I didn't give him no script when he came in here. Y'all, he got his pad, his tablet over here, and he ain't read from it yet, but he got his tablet. I did not tell him that. See, they've heard it a bunch of times.
Confirmation.
From see y'all now. Y'all know how I go. Y'all know how I go. See, so no, it's amazing to me, and I've said this so often over these airwaves, that the church itself, the church universal, is so far behind when it comes to keeping up with technology. And then by the time you decide to dabble in, you got to fight. You know, people got to fight past 85 billion porn sites to find your one church site, because we were so hesitant for trying to jump into it. I went all the way back to television, you know, because remember back when you were young, you're a little bit older than me. You know, it finally feel good to have somebody in the room older than me. I just thought about that. Yeah, because I get all the time. Man, it feel good to have somebody. But anyway, you remember, you know, it was all Jimmy Swaggart, Oral Roberts, the guy who just recently passed, the Crystal Temple guy,
Robert Schuller.
Those were the only preachers, and the crazy ones too, you know, Peter Popoff and that crew. But those were the only ones we saw on television. And you know, you saw them, and it was like, okay. And you know, some of them we thought were quacks, but some were, you know, say what you want about Oral Roberts, but I mean, you know, he was hardcore.
Oh yeah,
he was hardcore. Why did we take so long? And I guess maybe it's the black church, so to speak. Why did we take so long to jump in? I mean, outside of the money issue, I understand it costs money to broadcast. I get that. Trust me, I understand.
It also costs not to.
See, it costs not to. But radio shows were the only thing that you heard, and on bad radio, AM radio, no offense, but you know, if you turn the antenna the wrong way, you lose it, or even when it's clear, it's staticky.
Yes.
That's the only place where you heard those churches, and that's where we lived, and we stayed there for so long, even with all this, but everybody else, the world rather, saw the internet and jumped in. You know, why were we so delayed?
I believe a couple of reasons why we're delayed. First is we fear what we do not understand.
Yes, sir.
And as opposed to taking a step back to understand it, we just shun it.
Yes, it out.
Fear it.
Yep.
And then we resist what we can't control. And since we can't control how it goes out, when it goes out, who says what, who does what, I'll just back off it and have a hands-off approach. And money, we say it costs, but man, we have a 24-hour broadcast platform to get your message out called YouTube.
Yeah.
You have free marketing to get your message out on Facebook.
Yeah.
you can take 140 characters.
Yep.
And 24 hours, all these are free. Are free. And all you need is a camera on your phone.
That's it.
Even if you got a flip phone, just flip it up. I'm gonna get in trouble.
Some of y'all still got flip phones too. I ain't gonna call no names. I know about 4 people right now, but I ain't gonna say nothing.
Film yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I understand some people don't want to do. They want to shy away from being. I don't know if it's from being seen or whatever it is. I'm not sure what that's about, but it's just amazing to me. You want to. This was the analogy I used because you mentioned Paul on the roads. How would you don't think? And please don't beat me up, people. But you don't think if Jesus had the option, not that he couldn't have done it back then, because he could have just snapped his finger and did it, but you don't think if he had the option to sit on the Mount of Olives, preaching his, Sermon on the Mount, rather, he preached, and he decides to take his phone out while he's preaching and have it broadcast to more than the 5,000 or 6,000 that were.
Oh my God.
He wouldn't. You don't think he would?
Oh my God. He would leverage that.
Why wouldn't he?
Exactly.
So I say this, and I say this because you have church folks, and that's what I like to call them, church folks, who we don't need all that. We doing too much. But yet you'll turn around and in the same vein you say we don't need all that, we're doing too much, you'll say, how come we aren't getting any new people? Because you think evangelism only is walking up and down the streets you know.
It's not. I believe there's digital evangelism.
Come on now.
Paul says, I become all things to all people, that I might win some to Christ. So what if that person who's walking down the street, what if that's not the most effective method? I'm now thinking, okay, because I watch my son and my daughter and how they interact and it's quick sound bites. I'm like, okay, once I figure out how to Snapchat, I'm gonna Snapchat with some people.
No, I mean, there is nothing to. We see it all the time at these major conferences where people have their camera phone out and whoever's on stage, they'll give us, a minute and a half of it.
Yeah.
And we're sitting there when we watch, and if it's good, you're like, man, you start searching, is it any more?
Exactly.
And then you want to say, well, who's that preaching? Let me go look them up. And the worst thing, and because we're talking about social media, your website. I love the way you guys' website, and I think we have a link up on our page to his site. The way you guys' website flows, it is well done. This was somebody in-house. You guys did this. You contracted it out
in-house.
Wow.
Let me just say this. I'm all about partnerships, and our website is a collaborative partnership with a group that did the layout.
Yes.
I call them my virtual staff.
Okay.
And then all we do is log into the dashboard and we upload the content.
Okay.
And that was by far the most cost effective. So instead of spending thousands.
Yeah, because it can't be.
Oh yeah. All we do is pay a one-time fee.
Right.
And then pay a monthly.
You pay a monthly fee.
Pay a monthly fee.
But you have access to make all the changes yourself.
Exactly.
And it's not over the top difficult. You're not actually doing HTML.
No, we're not doing any of that. It's just if you can type, you can hunt and peck, you can upload content to our website. And
wow.
The main thing was that it was easy to navigate and that you only 2 clicks away from where you need to be.
Yeah, I love it because the information is great. I went through it, a few weeks back.
Yes.
Once we got the confirmation that you were going to be on. And shout out to Tanya for locking that interview down. I appreciate
Tanya,
you. She's our producer. She's handling on the other end.
You're awesome.
Yeah. But when we locked it down, man, we started going through the site, and we were both like, "Wow, this is great. This is good." I mean, I love the way it's laid out because some sites can have too much.
Yeah, exactly.
And with this one, you have everything.
Yes.
But like you said, it's literally only 2 clicks away.
Yes, sir.
You click the section and then you click the area, and you're there. Yeah, I love it. It's great.
Because our website, believe it or not, is built for the unchurched who search.
Come on now.
As opposed to the already convinced.
Right? Why would you need to? Okay.
They already know.
Okay. As my pastor said a couple of times, he's tired of saving folk.
Come on now.
Okay.
I love 'em.
Okay, all right. So that's what you're doing. So that's just for you guys. Social media, internet, it is needed. It
Yes.
is needed because we're behind. We're still behind with all the people you see online today. Whether it be Christian talk radio shows like this one, or church broadcast, or whatever they are. We're still behind.
Yes, we
For every one church, I'm sorry, let me say it this way. For every one good church broadcast you find, you can go get jumped.
And actually, I do use it for research.
Yes.
Because it teaches me
What not to do.
Oh,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I listen to other shows just to hear what not to do, and I always got somebody in my ear telling me what not to do too. But it's well, I should say two people: the Lord and other people that's always saying you can't say that no more. Every now and then some stuff slip, and if you're stupid, I have to call it sometime. I'm sorry, but so yeah, that's good though. That's good. So let's talk about inside the church. Let's talk about your worship service. So take me through. I watched, but I think that was that morning broadcast.
Yes.
Online. That's the way that every service flows, pretty much, that morning service? Or was that a little bit different when that
Yeah, it was a little different because we launched our online.
That's what that was.
That day.
Gotcha. Okay.
And here's the thing, everything we do at Mars Hill is launched in beta.
Okay.
And
Gotcha.
the reason being because the end user, members,
Right.
and others are going to give feedback, and we're not adverse to feedback because we don't get it right all the time, but we take that feedback and we make it better. So it has improved since. And the way our services flow, they're usually around 90 minutes, and it's built on two solid principles: worship and the word.
Can we rewind for 1 second?
Sure.
I'm sorry, something stuck out. That's just the morning service is 90 minutes, or your regular 10:30, 11 o'clock service is 90 minutes? Which
both of them at 8 a.m. and at 10:30. They're both 90 minutes long.
90 minutes.
90, hour 30 minutes. We're done.
You said you was a Baptist church. I'm gonna be in all kind of trouble. But you said
that's our legal name, yes.
Legally, that's what it say on your 501c3, that is Baptist church.
Mars Hill Missionary
Baptist
Church.
90 minutes.
90 minutes. From 8
They ain't
o'clock.
kicked you out the Baptist club yet.
Years ago.
Okay,
that's
yeah.
another show.
Come back for that one. That's taking limits off after dark, y'all. That's a whole other.
And I'm serious, yeah, I got kicked out.
Wow. Okay. See, I want to go there, but I'm gonna stay where I'm at. I'm gonna stay right here. Okay. So 90 minutes.
90 minutes, and then here's how. The goal.
Yes.
I don't have at our church. We have staff, and our staff does not have you have long job description. Our staff's team's ministry description, is what you call it, is one sentence.
Okay.
And so the goal for worship each Sunday is to have an awe-inspiring worship experience where people want to come back. That's it. So when we sit down to evaluate the service, we ask one question: was it awe-inspiring?
Wow.
If it was, yes. If it was not, okay, let's figure out why.
Was it awe-inspiring?
Right. Did God kiss us? Did He meet us today? And if so, what happened to cause that?
So you go into your service with expectation that something great is going to.
3 expectations. Number 1, God will show up and manifest. Number 2, somebody will be saved. Number 3, someone will be restored who's far from Christ. Yes.
Again, y'all watching on Ustream, y'all see he talking to me, right? He ain't.
Oh, I didn't. I'm supposed to be looking at.
Well, no, that's fine because see, man, it feels good to hear this from a pastor.
Confirmation.
Yes, absolutely, because I Sunday, and I've been doing this because I do what I do when God tells me to do something. I feel like He tells me to do something, I just do it. So on Sunday on my way here, I posted a video. I was driving. My mama got mad. She said, "Boy, I know you want to hold that phone down." No, it's in the holster. I got a holster, and I hit the button, and I just drive and talk. I ain't got to. But I was talking about saying, what would happen if we just went to church, and the whole purpose of us going, which is the purpose of the church, is to worship and praise God. What if we forgot about that whole order of service mess, these announcements and this program and this thing and that thing, and the whole service was geared strictly toward nothing but worship. What would happen to all the churches if we said, you know what, today, this particular Sunday, I know we got this agenda, I know we got this order of service we got to follow, but what if we just said, you know what, y'all, today, we just gonna praise. We ain't no breaks in between. We ain't gonna do that. I know y'all gotta get your offering. I get it. I ain't even go there. But outside of that, we just worship.
It would be amazing. That's the first 30 minutes of our worship experience is worship. We want God to know what you're worth to me. We also want to brag on him. And we do that through worship. It's not about singing, it's about singing not about God, but we're singing to God. Right? So thank him for this experience, even though it may be not so good.
Yeah.
But the fact that he kept us through not so good is worthy of his worship.
Absolutely.
Then after worship, we transition. And I take the platform. I'm there in the audience worshiping with the church, the congregation. And then I usually preach from 35 to 40 minutes. And then after that, 35 to 40 minutes. Yes, sir. 35 to 40 minutes. Gotta get an app ready.
Well, let me see. Let's see. I'm thinking myself in trouble now. So do you have associate ministers?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And when they preach, do they have how long do they?
Oh, that's the time frame.
35 to 40 minutes.
35 to 40 minutes.
Boy, I'm finna get in all kinds of trouble, boy, because man, we on at least 20 to 25 and shut it down. All right. Love you, Pastor. Don't give up. Ooh, I know somebody finna call it now. This gonna be all right. But
what's most important? God be exalted.
Yes.
People are inspired.
Exactly.
And life change.
Because you can do it if you know what you're doing. Right. You can get it done either way.
And then we talk right before the message because some of my associates, I keep them on series with me. So if I'm preaching right now, I'm preaching healing the broken.
Okay, so that's for the month. Right. Is that the?
And then we sit down, we talk about brokenness and what it looks like through your interpretation, so we can keep it on series. So the reason I'm doing this is because I'm building a teaching team. Because at some point we'll launch an additional location. From where we are, so
they can go out and send people out and make. Man, I love that. I love that. Yeah, we do something similar where we have themes every month. We started off. Somebody correct me because I'm making them backwards. We started off, I think, with commitment. Then it was commitment was January. Accountability was February. Unity was March, and now we're on obedience.
Oh, great.
We're on obedience now. So, and that's been my. My pastor asked me to handle the teaching, so I've been teaching since January.
Okay, so there you go.
Every Wednesday, y'all come out. If y'all don't go, y'all have Bible study Wednesday night.
No, that's another show. And here, and I got the title. Why I ditched my midweek Bible study.
Wow. That's man. He will be back. I'm telling y'all. Look, he will definitely be back. Look, y'all, I'm about 3 minutes late for my break. Hope y'all enjoying this. We're going to take a real quick break to give us both a chance to drink a little bit of this good water we got. And let me see here. My field correspondent complained about my music. She said, because I listen to all this old music. Didn't have anything new, but that's what I like. So we're going to take a quick break. I'm going to play my co-host song, which I can't stand, but I'm going to play it anyway. It just don't do nothing for me. But here goes little Michael Smith for y'all. Y'all be blessed.
Michael W. Smith.
I'm not a fan. I'm just not. Yeah. Sorry, Mike. It's just not a person. Yeah. It ain't no. You know what they say? Like the old people say about the music. Where's the oil at in the music? Where's the oil? I don't get no. I ain't sliding with the oil. That's good. I think this is good.
That's good, man.
That's good.
Hope I'm helping.
No, you good. I'm hey, I hope it's both ways.
I love it, man. This is new. Just to be able to say something that'll help somebody.
Hey, it's wonderful. I tell people all the time, why exactly are y'all doing this particular show? I say I want to give people a platform where it's not church.
Right.
And we can debunk some church stuff. There's some traditions that just ain't biblical.
Right.
And like you said before, they were built on names or somebody else did it and we've been doing it forever. And we go through all these different transitions with because like you said, Baptist church,
Yeah.
your comment about being kicked out the club, trust me.
That's true.
I get it. I know, I get it. Because, you know, I argue, I shouldn't say, I protest, this word I use, quite often for the district that we're a part of, because I don't see the what's the word? Fruit. Thank you. So yeah, I'm sure you're familiar with the Northwood Rep District. Yeah, but
Yes.
yeah. So anyway, not a big fan, but yeah. So we use this as a platform to, for one, we want to give preachers, especially those in the area that are productive, that are actually doing something, give them a platform to come and reach people that they might not be reaching.
Right.
You know,
right.
I mean, it could be somebody, and even if they're not local, they might say, hey, you know, here's it, man, I like that. You might all of a sudden tune in on your thing and see, because you get results on listen, you know, it's like, whoa, we got 4 more listeners or watchers.
Man.
You know, so that's good. It's good stuff. You got some time?
I'm ready.
Okay, great, good.
You got me, Doc.
Oh, this song is. Oh, I'm sorry, man. Well, I apologize for that, Michael W. Smith, y'all. I'm so sorry. I don't know what I was thinking. That was for Devon. Devon, I know you're at home sick today because I saw your text message. That's for you, bro. Hopefully it made you feel better. I don't think it did, but yeah, that was for you, bro. Sorry.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So those are the thoughts of me, not Pastor Stores. I don't get no problem just in case you might not. Michael W. Smith want to come on the show. I probably would say that if he was here. Yeah, that's me. I would, so it's fine. But anyway, let's keep it rolling. So you talk about the worship service, the 90-minute presentation. So let's move out a little bit into what does Mars Hill do community-wise? What is Mars Hill doing outside of the 4 walls of the church and outside of social media, I should say, locally?
Great question. And the question that we constantly wrestle with in regards to what we're doing community-wide is if our church were removed.
Watch this, y'all. He finna say something. Go ahead.
Our church was removed from the community. Would it make a difference? Would we be missed? Is it something that the community will feel? And every time we slip towards that no, which means that we're moving towards irrelevance, that makes us reevaluate everything we do. So to answer that question, if we were removed, the answer is yes, because I believe that we are one leg on the stool that's needed to stabilize a community. So what we're doing, and again, I think in categories, so bear with me.
Take your time down.
And the first category revolves around school education.
Okay.
So a partnership with Safe Haven and Safe Passage that kind of fulfills that role. Secondly, we do things in regards to health and preventative health initiative. First being our partnership with Walgreens.
Okay.
And the First Lady's Health Initiative that my wife.
I saw her on Wendy. Was it Wendy City Live?
City Live?
Yeah. I saw that. Yeah.
She's the co-chair. And what we do is preventative health screenings, etc. And in addition to partnering with Walgreens, we now have partnership with Blue Cross Blue Shield. Okay. And several dentists in the area, blood pressure screening, glucose, HIV/AIDS, etc. And we do that twice a year with the community's help, and that's always huge. And we love being a part of that as well. And now we're looking into partnering with area school. To adopt a school. And we had adopted Key Elementary prior to them being closed. Yes. We'll come back for that.
You're gonna start so all my Chewy Garcia supporters for the jump out.
We were great partners where we would not only look around the school, see what needs to be done physically, but providing book bags and supplies. And so right now we're in the process of identifying schools within our Austin area where we can also go in and partner with them as well. So That's kind of what we do. And I left out one. In addition to businesses, because part of that three-legged stool,
Yes.
churches,
Yes.
business, or school
Yes.
education system, is looking to identify businesses who can set up incubators. We own space, excuse me, commercial space,
Gotcha.
where we can bring in entrepreneurs, of course, minority entrepreneurs, and partner them and pair them with business, big business, so they can provide incubation and get their concepts off the ground. So
that's great. That's pretty good. So one of the things that I want to talk about, and I've done this, and I know you go to, I haven't been to the last, I missed the one in April. You go to the, when they have the, what do they call it, meeting for the clergy in the community. I think they've been having it at the Reflectory in Columbus Park over there. I've seen it over there a couple times.
Yes.
And, I don't know if you go to the one that's actually at the 15th District on the first Tuesday of the month, the second Tuesday of the month, whatever it is. I don't know.
I had been before we got a new commander. So.
Yeah, I noticed. Yeah, so I know I think they still have, it's still on the calendar, but I don't know if they still have it. I'm not sure. So because I haven't been since Barbara left. So that in itself was disappointing. Which, and I said this, and I'll say it again. Because we had a lot of people who have issues with police, and I get it, you know, I understand that, but just going off of my personal work with her, her coming here, and we had an outdoor event, she was a part of that. We did the revival on the street corners for about 3 or 4 weeks in a row, and she made sure there were people out with us, and she always, and I don't understand, or I guess that's the statement I should make is, I can't understand why downtown doesn't recognize that we need neighborhood relationships with police, and not just showing up when the crime is committed, but showing up just because.
Right.
You know, that's what neighborhood policing used to be.
Yes, yes. It's disappointing, and I share those sentiments as well. And she got it right.
Yeah, she did.
Got it right.
She was working towards something.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, competence. Work gravitates toward the most competent. She was getting results, and so they took a good commander and put her in an area that was not so good, so that she can do the same thing. So that's great leadership.
It is, but when people build trust, that's part of community policing is trust. You know, I grew up on the west side of Chicago, in K-Town as they call it, and I knew even as a kid who our beat cop was, because he actually would park his car and sit on your porch, and you know, and people would come and talk, and what would happen is, if it was anything necessarily not legal going on, no, people felt comfortable enough to say, hey, John, Bob, Bill, whatever his name was, you know, 3 doors down, some stuff going on. Now we don't even know. So that's wow, that's unfortunate. But anyway, so we have those meetings. And I know we were at this, the last one I was at, you were there too, where it was that big, I won't get in trouble. So we had this big meeting. I'm going to give y'all a little example. So just imagine sitting at, you guys ever seen the cabinet meeting at the White House, and they show those CNN, there's like the president sitting in the middle, and then there's this huge table, and then everybody's sitting around the table, all the, the people with the, they sit around the table, and then the minions, us, we get to sit around the back ends, and then everybody else, little chair. We get fed, that's what it was, it was little chair. So we were sitting around the back. So everybody's talking. You have 55, 60 people in there?
Easily, yes.
My question is, instead of doing that, because in that particular, I was told to make sure I don't say this question this way. When you get that many pastors in the room, let's minimize the us little folk on the side chair. It's a good book, by the way, Writing in the Secretary. Yeah, that's a very good book. Associate Ministers, you need that book. I'm telling y'all, that's a
friend wrote that.
Did he really?
He had one called.
Wish I had known that, man. Before I bought it, that book was expensive. It's high, and it didn't come in digital form, man. Anyway, egos can be egos can be a little bit of a problem sometimes when you have that many pastors in the room, because it's hard for some people to acquiesce to somebody else when you are the head HNIC in your church.
Yes.
But now you're in this room with all these other people, and you know, you got your storefront over here, but you the man, and you got your big church over here, and you the man, and so. It seems like nothing ever gets accomplished. We have a lot of talking.
Yes.
And I think I tweeted that the last time I was at the meeting. I think I checked in, and y'all saw it. I'm sitting in this room doing all this talking. I want to see some action, and I'm still kind of waiting. But what would happen? What would happen? I guess my question is this: it's kind of dropping it all up here. But if we said, okay, let's just take about 3 or 4 of you guys and let you get in the room,
Sure.
and try to figure out what can we do jointly in the community to try to enact some type of real change or have a real or further impact, because I don't want to diminish anybody's current impact, but to have further impact versus 50 heads in the room and it ain't my idea, so I ain't gonna participate, or you know, that type of deal. What can be done locally? When I'm speaking strictly of the Austin community, because it has a very rich history. That one meeting, I had no idea. I think the guy was reading off some demographic that at one point Austin had like the most black millionaires or something.
Yes.
Lived in the Austin community. I had no knowledge of that.
It has the largest middle class, black middle class.
Yes.
To,
Still?
today.
Wow.
Largest black middle class.
I don't think people know that. What can be done on you know, just outside of that? I mean, and it's no knock against that, but it just seems like it's always this and that. You get 1 or 2 preachers to pray, and he can pray real good, so he set the room up a little bit and get a few amens, and you leave like you know, it's one of those things where, you know, you go to a church. I'm sure you've experienced it. I call no names, but you go to a church and the pastor read the scripture and he started hooping, and the folk, ooh, pastor, no, he preached. What did he preach about? He so preached.
It sounded great. Yeah.
What can we do?
Wow, that's a loaded question.
It is. Man, 23 minutes. Go ahead now. They all yours.
Loaded question.
Yes, it was. Sorry.
And there's so much in there.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to try to do
Pick what you can.
is pick a spot.
Okay. Go
Jump
ahead.
in,
All right.
and then
Jump
try
out.
to figure out
Okay.
our way around and jump out.
Okay.
The question you raise
Mhm.
is both relevant
Mhm.
and important.
Okay.
And I say that because the time has come to identify why historically our people are left out of the pie slice.
Yes.
And it boils down to what you just said. Why can't a few get together and then creating agenda?
Yeah.
The challenge is who gets the invitation to sit at the table and who determines.
Wow.
And I know there's a lot of stakeholders, a lot of leaders, etc. But the question, even at Mars Hill, I ask, just because you have a title,
Oh my God. Here we go.
doesn't necessarily mean you get a seat at the table. Because when we're trying to when we pushed our initiative to go mobile, it was a 5-year plan.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, my pastoral care director, I'm looking at the website that you just had up there, director of First Impressions, they had no clue about building an app. So they were not at the table. Who was at the table were these 20-somethings who knew how to do this stuff. And they took the lead and put out a very good product, which is our website, our app, and now our streaming, our mobile platform. So that's really good for us. So number one, who gets an invitation to sit at the table, and who determines who sits at the table? That's right. That right there is going to take some time. Now, once we figure out who's at the table, then let's do this. Let's define reality. What's the current state of where we are right now?
Right.
Because if you don't define reality, then you operate from a position of delusion. You create your own reality.
Oh my God.
Based
Okay.
on your own assumptions. But there are facts. Facts are your friends. And when we look at the facts of what's going on in Austin, that's all I can speak of.
Yes.
That's where I'm
That's
ministering.
where we are.
Right, that's where I'm
Right.
at.
Right.
Then, okay, here's the reality. So let's say, okay, here's the reality of Austin community, the Austin community. All right. Now, let's put together a collective ask, ASK. What are we asking for? So now that we have reality defined, right people at the table, collective ask.
Mhm.
Then we marshal all of the grassroots organizations, all of the churches, all of the businesses,
Mhm.
and then that becomes the agenda for the Austin community
Okay.
based upon all of that. And because of that, and I'll pause right here
Mhm.
because I need to talk a little bit about why it doesn't happen.
Yeah. I was going to direct us there because I'm curious because you it sounded like you were going towards you were taking us toward why we don't get the dollars, why we
Yes.
don't get the resources in the Austin community. But I remember sitting in that meeting and hearing where all this money came, and no one in the room except for 2 people knew about this money that came and went through the
Yes.
Austin community, which was mind-boggling.
Yes.
Because part of the problem is we don't share information.
No.
And it bothered me, but again, I was just there in a capacity, just go listen and see what you find out and come back and let us know. Versus, I didn't want to raise my hand and say nothing, but it was hard because they know I'll question anything around here. But outside of the because that's a political, which I know is what you wanted to do. What you wanted to do, so that it's good. That's good. But I guess my question is, with all of the violence, and I'm not one who buys into, I ain't got a job, that's why I shoot people.
Right.
That don't work for me.
Yes.
Okay, so with the violence that goes on, if we can speak strictly about the Austin community, we had, I think it was, we can make sure I'm right, last summer, right down, point the right direction, I never do, down Fulton, yeah. 2 people, I think one guy was shot right here, like literally 1 block away from our church. There was somebody shot on Lake Street, more than one, I'm just remembering the ones that come to mind right now. On the south side of Chicago, and you can jump in there, on the south side of Chicago, every time someone is shot anywhere in the vicinity of Father Flager's church, that man is on TV complaining about what's going on. Now, some people might say, what to complain and do or whatever, but it's drawing attention to it. Now, I'm not sure if things have gotten better because I don't know, but over here, I see people shot all the time. I never see any pastors out. For one, I don't see any media out, so that's part of the problem. But I never see any pastors out when something major happens. And I guess, we got to a point now somebody getting shot ain't major no more, but it is.
It's very major. Very major.
Okay.
And the reason being, when we start accepting things as the norm,
Yes.
then that becomes the new reality, the new normal.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, media is driven by influence.
Uh-huh.
And to be quite honest, Father Flager is very influential.
Yeah.
So therefore, he has a voice.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the media is going to gravitate towards. We're out here.
Mm-hmm.
And our voice is just not as influential as Father Flager to address what's going on. You can send out a press release saying that you're going to have X, Y, and Z, but am I going to go hear what Father Flager has to say versus what Clarence Stores has to say, what David King has to say?
Right.
So it becomes a matter of whose voice carries the most influence.
Okay. I'll accept that.
We're out there.
But I guess it saddens me. I went to high school right here at Austin.
Yeah.
Graduated from this high school right there.
Wow.
And class of '88.
Right.
Watch out now. But anyway, went to that high school, and I've seen the ups and downs of this community, and I've seen it where it was when I was going to high school. I was scared when I was coming over here because I was a Catholic school, private school kid up until my sophomore year.
Wow.
So this was, even though I grew up on the west side of Chicago, my mom sent me to Catholic or private school until after my first year at St. Mel, when she said I ain't spending all that money for seeds. I tried to explain to her that a C at St. Mel is an A.
That's right.
At public school.
And then you could have flipped it and said, well, at least I'm on top of the bottom.
I wasn't that smart yet. Hadn't quite figured that game out yet. I was still as they say, Similac was still dripping.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So anyway, but I saw the community then where it was versus where it is now, and I guess I just wonder why the church used to be really, really influential in all things.
Yes.
And we took seems like we've taken not a step back, we took a mile back or 2-3 miles back because we're not out there. And I mean, I know we do our own little individual stuff. You guys still have that little fest, no, I shouldn't say little, that fest that you have on Lake Street or whatever it used to be or something?
Right. We haven't had it, but we're bringing it back. Taste of Mars Hill.
That's what it was.
Yes, it was.
Okay, then when was the last time you had that?
2007. Wow.
Okay, show you that I've been out the loop.
Yeah.
So, you know, and show you how hard it is to get people. I'm gonna put some folks on the spot, and don't be offended, nobody, please. But we did an outdoor event. Somebody help me with the date. I believe it was in August. Tanya, let me know because I'm old. So I'm gonna use that excuse. But we did an outdoor event, and we invited several churches to come with us. The way I had it set up was I wanted to give it a chance to. We had the medical bus out doing the high blood pressure screenings. We had the dental people out. We had HIV tests. We had all of that stuff. We had dialysis, the people out for kidneys and all that type of stuff. If you were needed, all that stuff was like set up. And then we used Duke Ellington's parking lot right across the street on the Fulton side. And we invited several churches. Tanya can send me a message and let me know exactly how many, but I believe it was somewhere around 10 to 15. Got responses from 2. I ain't hear from a man over here. They didn't respond either. So
we part of that number, y'all.
But seriously, we did that, and it was strictly it wasn't to promote us.
Right.
It was strictly about the community. And one of the things that I'm gonna get myself in trouble here that was eye-opening for me, and I believe for our church too, was when I had the guy out setting up the tent, because he set the tent up Friday, and it took him, I don't know if you've ever seen these big tents being put up, it takes some hours.
Yeah.
And when it's on concrete, they have to fill these huge water jugs up to hold the post.
Right.
So it took him August 16th. Thank you. It took some hours. So literally, I was here along with Tanya and some other people from the church. We were here up until almost, I think, 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning.
Wow. Getting
Getting this tent put up. That day, Friday, because he started early Friday, people were walking by and they said, "Oh, y'all having a revival?" I was like, "No, it's just a community outreach event." He's like, "Okay. What church you from?" And it caught me off guard because I said, "Bro, we from right there. Right
literally
there."
across the street.
He go, "Oh." I said, "Okay." And I took that message back and I yelled it out to everybody who cared or not. So my thing was just to get some churches involved in something like that. And what I wanted to do was I wanted to give associate ministers a chance. So I invited the pastors, but in the letters that we sent, we said, you know, if you have an associate minister, a dynamic associate, we want to give him a chance to be on this platform, let him speak for 10 minutes, and then invited the praise team or choir, praise dance, whatever you may have to come in. We had a whole stage and everything out there. And I think I had 2 churches to respond. One said no, the other one said yes. and it was like, we went forward anyway. It rained a little bit, but we still had some folks got saved, which is all that mattered. Well, to me, that's all that mattered. So folks came to, but it just that thing just shocked me, and I was a little bit shocked because I said something too. Are you familiar with Rock Church up the street?
Yes.
Okay, Stevenson, right? Pastor Stevenson, I believe. Is that his last name? I might be wrong.
Is it Washington?
Is it Washington Stevenson? I'm sorry.
The last pastor I knew was Abraham Lincoln Washington.
Okay, really? That's
Wrong, brother. Wrong.
I'm sorry. Really?
Wrong, man.
I laughed. I'm sorry. Okay. So yeah, but anyway, you know, I figured we'd get some people. But anyway, it was a great event. It rained or whatever. But just trying to put something together like that, you know, and I get it, people are busy and depending on who your secretaries and people are, mail is mail and it's all over the place. And as I found out, just trying to get in contact with you, contacting you is the best bet. Yep. Versus going off. And I've learned that from quite a few pastors that I've talked to. Is like, you know what, man, just email me directly. Don't email the church because ain't no telling when I might get that. So if you could, in general, generalize this as easy as you can. or as make it as simple as you can. What do you think could be done with just a handful of churches, not the 50 or the 60, but the immediate handful of churches? Because you're here, we're here, Mars Hill is there, I think Mount Olive, or what is it, right up, is it Mount Olive or New Mount Vernon, whatever it is.
Mount Vernon.
Quite a few churches are in this. Is Friendship still on there?
Yeah, man.
I'm sorry, I don't know. It's been I don't come that way. I'm sorry. No offense, Friendship. I'm sorry. Hey, don't get me started.
That's my good friend, Pastor Reginald Backus.
Okay, well, bless you, Pastor. That's probably why I can't get him on the show. But no, we have not reached out. We have not. I'm sorry, but no. But I mean, again, I know this other. What is it? Abercrombie over here on Landers. I know because they always doing something and over there on there. So. But what could just the us handful? What could we do to say, okay, the summertime is about to come.
Mm-hmm.
How can we have an impact this summer? Instead of waiting for the police to put us out on the corners, what can we do?
Man, that's a great question, and I know our time is short. So
you got it. You can have it. Go ahead.
What I'll do is give one step, one collective step that we can take.
Okay.
That I'm fearful we may not take.
Okay.
So therefore, we have to push ahead anyway. God gave us something that was divinely orchestrated. It was given to us specifically, and the very thing that he gave to us is actually working against the vision you just cast.
Wow.
Collectively coming together.
Wow.
And that is, all of us have what I like to call appetites. We have appetite. And I'm not speaking in the physical sense, in the stomach grounds, but it's an appetite. God created the appetite, but sin distorted it. And so what we have right now is an appetite that is never fully satisfied, is never full, and it always screams for more, more responsibility, more respect, more money, more, because an appetite is never fully filled, and it always screams, give it to me now. Yeah. As opposed to later. So if we collectively as leaders can curb the appetite for more, the appetite for achievement to be recognized, things of that sort, then we can say, okay, let's talk about what's best for Austin. Okay, go back to that defined reality. Comes together collectively. And so by doing that, I've got to be comfortable that if God don't give me anything else right now, my appetite is cool. I'm good. I'm not going to die, but I'm good. And unfortunately, the same issue that plagues us as a church is what got our school systems in trouble. It's what has our businesses in trouble. It's also what caused that great depression that we experienced when President Obama came into office. Uncontrollable appetites, and it's not going away. And if we don't learn to curb it, if we don't learn to check it, then we'll never come to the table, because I'm going to try to get all the dollars that I can, as opposed to spreading it around in Austin. So what curbs the appetite is contentment. You got to be at a place to say, man, I'm good. God has been good to me, and I'm want to see others good as
prosper,
well,
absolutely,
and prosper as well. So I don't know if it's going to happen, because greed is a hard emotion to check. But what I do know, that if we can curb the appetite and then come together, define reality, get our collective eyes together, and then fold into something like one is too small of a number to do anything great. So it's going to take a collective effort. So,
well, one of the things that we are willing to do, and I want to say this while we're on the air, is Pastor Storrs is the first pastor to actually come into the studio and sit down and talk. And that's going to be on the record. That's it. We don't delete no shows. It's going to be out there. The podcast will be available about 30 minutes after the show is over. But he's the first pastor to come in here. And when I say the first pastor, he's the first pastor to be on studio, on the phone, whatever, but he's here. We would not mind putting some people in this room.
Sure.
this room.
Come in.
And having real dialogue, but leaving with small plan, something that we all can be assigned to and go out and do that work. That's the purpose of this show. The purpose of this show is bunking tradition. We don't care about that. I don't care about whether your church say Baptist or Apostolic or whatever. If you baptize in Jesus' name and we baptize in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, we talk about the same thing.
That's right.
So I don't care about that. But what I do care about is where I worship. And we shouldn't be in a position or have to come to a place where we're fearful of leaving church on choir rehearsal night, or fearful of showing up, because if you saw me coming, you came in through the alley, so we got to be skeptical about where we're going, and even over on Lake Street, a lot of on Austin, and there's a lot of stuff going on over there. At least on the Chicago side, not the whole Park side. They don't play. Man, your pants come up when you cross Austin. You notice that? When you minute you cross the street, okay. But seriously, using this platform to get some pastors in here and have an open dialogue about what we can do as a team, unified. One of the things that I started doing last year when I started preaching, actually, I'm still new to this, is when I got the chance to give the invitation.
Yes.
Was let people know that it's not about membership. It's about relationship. And so when we get these people in the room, it's not about, well, they gonna all come join his church because he's doing it. It's like, no, but it's not about that. But if we could grab one or two people who might be getting ready to do something crazy and have them come in here and join us, or sit down with us, or join your church or their church or that church or whatever, or just get a different perspective on something. Your church may have a mentoring program. Somebody else's church might have this program. We have, somebody might be stealing because they're hungry. Well, we got a food pantry downstairs every Friday. So it's like, but we don't know this because we don't share information. So if we could get 3 or 4, I'm friends with Virgil Brackett.
Right.
Virgil Brackett? Yeah. So we used to go to the same barber, but I no longer need to.
Finally joined us.
Man, 5 years ago, man, Lots was down here, man. Yeah. Wow. But Stevie Wonder was started. Yeah, Stevie had started.
Oh, man, it
had started. Yeah. But anyway, but if we could get that group, a small group of mine, and we can talk offline or whatever, and I know some of y'all listening that's been real hesitant or whatever, but y'all heard this, brother. It ain't me, it was him.
Right. I think I'm falling on that sword.
It was him. Y'all heard him. He's willing.
Absolutely.
He's willing. His family, his church has been in this Austin community for years.
Since 1977.
77. Okay. Now we'll put the onus on some folk. Rock Church. Kingdom Baptist Church. I'm sitting up on the 3rd floor. Been here since 72. I was 2. Yeah. 72. So been here all this time. These other churches around here, we have to shift the paradigm that's going on around here. We got to, and if we just put God out there, He'll do the work.
Exactly.
It ain't just for the four walls. I understand. Your family's saved already. Try to help somebody else's. Okay, I'm off my soapbox. Look, man, we got about 90. The lady gonna start talking about 90 seconds. But it's been great.
Awesome. I had a great time. Thank you for inviting me.
Man, this was good.
And love what you're doing. Love what you're doing.
I should have did a 2-hour show today. We could have. I just didn't think about that. But I didn't know what kind of time we had. But look,
never met a mic I didn't like.
See, and y'all know. See, this is the difference between young preacher, old preacher. My mic in the mic stand. Old preacher, they gotta have it right.
There's something about holding this microphone.
Was it Quincy Jones? No, Barry Gordy that told Michael Jackson, "It's yours. Don't you let it go. When you get it, okay." Look, y'all, it's been great. Thank you again to Pastor Clarence Stores for coming and sitting with us today for the whole 90 minutes. Man, I appreciate you, bro.
My pleasure.
We will definitely be contacting you again about some other stuff that we're going to have going on. Oh, real quick, and I pulled it up and I almost forgot it. We didn't get to his article, but guess what? That's the excuse we didn't have him back. 424, this is still going on, right?
That's going on this Friday.
Mars Hill Baptist Church presents Friday Night Live Youth Service.
That's right.
BET style, it says.
That's right.
Service time 7 p.m. Special guests to appear. For more information, please contact Youth Director Jeremy Winfield as Jeremy at Mars Hill. The ad is up on our page as well. Mars Hill Baptist Church, 5916 West Lake Street. What time are your services on Sunday, sir?
8 a.m. and 10:30. And streaming online at 8 a.m. and 10:30 at MarsHillOnline.tv.
Amen. Look, y'all, it has been a wonderful show. I appreciate y'all for listening. Hope you got something out of it. Until then, I'm gonna leave y'all with some music that I actually like. Where's Walter Hawkins? Where is he at? See, I like, they're right somewhere up in there. I don't even see it now. I'm gonna have to go to something else because I saw it earlier and now I don't see it. That's okay. I'll give y'all that one instead. Y'all be blessed. We out of here. Oh man.
Awesome, brother.
Yeah, that wasn't bad, man. That was pretty good. Appreciate it.
It's good, man. I hope it did you well, brother.
No, I hope it worked out both ways.
That was good.
Hope it worked out both ways. Man. That was good. So I'm serious about
I love to.
like partnering up some kind of way. And even if it's not, let me kill this for a second. Ustream, we going. Y'all don't get to hear everything. Y'all don't get y'all some business.